Hi all, welcome to Colorlux Technology. My name is Manoj Kumar Acharya. I am a Google certified cloud engineer, architect and AI trainer. This is the third tutorial on Google ADK Agentic AI. On the first tutorial, we saw how to create a Google ADK agent. There are different ways. These are like this, like what we can do. Simply we can create an agent using like ADK create give a agent a name. Additionally, we can make it a declarative like passing the parameter type equal to config. config. In second video, uh, in second tutorial, we explored like how can we define a Python function, and we can pass that Python function as a tool to our agents. So this is the third video where we'll be creating two real-time sub-agents, and we'll create an orchestrator, and everything we'll be doing in scratch from scratch. So let's explore that part. So here is the requirement. There will be orchestrator, and orchestrator has a two sub-agents, sub-agent 1 and sub-agent 2. And we have a table which contains a username, policy number, policy type is active. So let's say the user is asking some question. Okay, so this is the user, and this is the policy number. Could you please give me the policy details? So in that case, the orchestrator would be asking one of the agent to retrieve the username and policy number from the user query, and it will ask the second agent to use that information to query the table and return back the result. Let's go to the coding part. I have created the files beforehand. Just here I'll be giving you a code walkthrough. So what we need to do? First of all, we have to create a requirement.txt. Here I have given the library name that we are going to install. I have already shown you how to install using UV. If you are using the UV, then that's fine. Otherwise, you can also use pip install and install the required library from the requirement.txt. Perfect. And after that, we'll be exploring the DB part. I have created a mock DB like this. It's very simple. So mockDB, the here like the input type is a tuple I have taken. So str means first one will be the username and the second one will be the policy one. So what the first agent is going to do, it will be retrieving the username and the policy number from the user query, and it will pass that information to the second agent. Second agent sub agent uh, will be checked for that username and policy number, and it will fetch the remaining details that is in a dictionary format. So that's the mockdb is all about. I have added some sample data. So here is a function I have created, get policy data. So this is the function, Python function. This is the we are passing as a tool to the second agent. The second agent will be using this tool to retrieve that information. Next, uh, let's go to the root agent part. I have created, yeah, before that I have created an environment file. So environment file, like it contains Google agent use enterprise equal to 0. That means false because I'm not going to deploy it anyway. Then a Google API key. I have masked this key so that this is like a secret information. But however, you can, I have already shown in the last video how to create a Google API key. If you have already you created it, then you can use it. So let me show you how you can retrieve that key. Go to the console, Google Cloud. This must be activated, API and services. Go there. Then go to the library in the left side navigation menu. And here I am using Gemini. So that's why I'm just searching for that. My Gemini API is here and it contains the API key. The manage it's already enabled. Click on the manage. And then we can go for credentials, which is showing the show key. Okay, so you can copy the key from here and paste it to the environment file, env file. Okay, perfect. So now we are going to create a root agent. So for that we have to create a Python file, agent.py. So remember the file name must be agent.py because that's the nomenclature it follows, and it has the root agent, so which is the entry point uh, uh, for the Google ADK runtime. Um, I have imported few libraries that is a sequential agent. So I told so this is going to be a sequential agent because the first agent it is going to retrieve the username and the policy number from the user query, and the second agent after that second agent will get invoked and that will retrieve the remaining information from our mock database. So that's why I have created a sequential agent, and after that like a, I have created a sub agent folder. In the sub agent I have created two sub agents. One is user search agent and a policy lookup agent. uh, and besides that, one more thing you must consider, there are like a certain key naming certain key you must stick to that name, like name, description, and sub agents. If you are not aware like what are the keys, particular key names, right? So in that case, what you can do, um, I have added a test file, so you can just execute this one. Let's say in LLM agent, right? So I want to know what are the keywords. For that, like you can LLM agent and execute help LLM agent. Let's say Python test py. It's giving me a list of all the keywords. Okay. So after that, a sub-agent. In the sub-agent, we are passing the sub-agent names, user search agent and policy lookup agent. So let's go to the user search agent. So this is the first agent we are going to be invoked. So I have created a folder called sub-agents. In that we have a file called user agent, which contains user search sub-agent. And this is going to be a LLM agent. So there is a key difference. When if it's a LLM agent, we are going to use a LLM model for that. And if it's basically it works based on the instruction. But if you are making an sequential agent or it's a normal agent, it is a rule based, it follows the rule based process. You don't need to supply a LLM model into that. So this is our LLM search agent, and it has a name, a model that we are using Gemini 3.5 plus, and a description. Basically, the description is like what it is, so like what is the uh, work description for this agent, and the third one is the instruction. So the instruction is to be very scripty and very clear narrative, so that LLM will be able to understand what it is required for it to do. So here I'm passing two things: output schema and output key. So what is the output schema? Output schema, I have declared a class called user policy schema, so which is exactly looking for two parameters: user name and policy number. So this is defining the contract between the LLM and our application. So that is the output schema, and output key is this is what we are going to save into the session, and the second agent sub agent is going to look for this particular key to extract username and the policy number. So let's go to the second agent, the policy agent. In the policy agent, you can see here the previous agent has already extracted the user details and as JSON here, and we are passing the as a variable name. So this is an instruction for the LLM to search for the username and the policy number exactly in this variable. And besides that, one more thing I showed, like we have created a tool here, get policy data. That policy data we are passing as a tool, function tool, to this sub agents, get policy data. Yeah, so that's all. Like we created a root agent, that is the agent.py, and we send sub agents into that. So this is a sequential agent. So first user search agent is going to be executed, and the user search agent is going to extract username and a policy number, and it needs to pass it in a JSON format, and that is will be saved into the output key. Our second agent, the policy agent, so which will be looking for this extracted query, and it will it will retrieve username and a policy number from that. Then it will call a tool, get policy data, and it will pass that those as parameters. Perfect. So now how we'll be executing it? Earlier, like you might have remembered, right? So while we are creating a new agent, so it was altogether it was creating a new folder, and that contains the necessary YAML file and other required artifacts. Uh, we can run it using the Google ADK run the agent name. But here nothing is like that, right? So we are creating everything from the scratch. So for that reason, we have to understand what is happening internally. So while we are creating the like running the ADK run, so what is happening exactly? So let's go to the main py. So this is the where like we'll be running the agent altogether. I have imported a namespace called async IO. Basically, it is going to be a synchronous function, and Google ADK runner. So this is our orchestrator block. So Google runners take care of everything. So whenever user is asking, giving a prompt, it accepts the prompt. It creates a series of events, and it also check the output of the event. Everything is to be done by the runners. This is in-memory runner. So basically, we are going to use the session object. So this is like a in-memory runner. You can also make it like a persistent. And this is the root agent. Basically, the agent from agent we are using the root agent, that is where we have defined. And here I am loading the environment file. So environment file contains all the API key and the deployment related information, right? We saw it earlier. And after that, we are setting it as the set default. Okay. Then come here. So basically we are running it async IO run and the run query. We are calling this function, and we are passing this query object. So query is nothing but what the user has typed. We are passing that object, that information here. And if you go to the run query, so run query, so first of all, we are initializing the runner object. I told like what the runner agent is supposed to do, and it expects two parameters. One is the agent, basically the root agent, and another is the app name. So which app name it is going to work out. So this must be unique. I have already defined the app name here, policy info pipeline and the user ID. So I'll tell you like why we user ID, user information is also required. Then we are creating a session object. So what the session object is expecting? It needs a app name and a user ID. It is used to value check for those two parameters to identify a unique session. So let's say we change while our application is running, right? So the user ID is equal to user ID. So let's say second user is going to log in. So if you don't want the session to be conflicting, then we dynamically we have to create a new user ID for the user. Second user, it might be user ID 2. And similarly, this app name. So basically, if one application contains multiple sessions, then app name can be same. But if there are two different app name, then we have to also make it a dynamic. Okay. Then the content. So here the main thing, the content, what kind of a content it is expecting. So here I have given the text equal to query. So basically what it is doing, here the role is user. Basically it is saying that the user, the prompt we are getting from the user. Basically the different ways of putting, right? So it can be a system prompt, it can be a user prompt, or it can be given by a bot. So here particularly we are informing that this content is from a user. And here the parts, in the parts I'm saying that it's going to be a query and it is of a type of a text. It's not going to be a structured data, or let's say in a JSON format. In a later video, we'll be exploring that part. How can we create a user content? How can we create a system content? And how can we stack each prompt on one of another? And after that, we are we are looping through an event. So remember, in Google ADK, everything is an event. When a user is typing something, that's an event. And uh, when the event, any processing is happening, that's an event. When a response is getting generated, that's also an event. So here we are looping through each event asynchronously. And what is the parameter, key parameter to identify the event? That is the user ID, session ID, and the new message. So basically the message what we have got it from here. So now the user event is looping, and the filtering criteria is user ID, session ID, and the new message. That is the content. And after that, it is like there is some checks, and finally it is if it the partial test, and it is uh, like returning, printing that statement, event author and part text. So that's all about. So now what we can do, we can run it. Okay. So I'm running it, Python main.py. Let's see how it is coming up. Okay, so now it is saying that I have looked up for the details policy 01, and here is a summary of your policy information. Policy type is health insurance, status active, premium this one, and the coverage is full. So it is responding back. So congratulations, you have learned another key things in the Google ADK, how to create the sub agents, and how to loop those sub agents into the orchestrator, that is the root agent. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe the channel. If you have not watched my two previous video, then please refer to the part 1 and part 2. I have already given the description link. Here the part 1 and part 2. I have already given the link of these two videos. So please refer that one. Thank you.